It's been a wet day across Kentuckiana today as the storms continue on into this evening. You can see a gray sky right there, and we're under a wind advisory until 2 a.m. Strong winds out there, but what we're keeping our eye on right now is the potential for flooding. Thanks for joining us here at 6:30. I'm Alex Dieterer. Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine joins us now from the Weather Center. And Ben, what's the possibility right now for flooding in our area?
Yeah, we do have a flood watch for areas just off to the east of Metro Louisville until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We could add up another inch of rainfall through later on tonight for some spots. You can see it has been a soaker after some of those hail storms earlier this morning. 1.5 inches of rainfall in Louisville, about 1 to 2 inches in most locations, but we could see rain continuing for longer for a lot of these areas east of I-65. So notice it is starting to dry out a bit out to the west of I-65, but still a good soaking rain across the area. And thankfully we've been dodging any severe weather with that all down to the deep south. So a moderate rain continues. Pretty persistent here over Metro Louisville. And as we expand out our view, you can see that down to the south is where all the severe weather is happening. The tornado watch begins here in Tennessee and stretches all the way down south through Alabama, eastern Mississippi into Louisiana, where there have been a number of tornado warnings today. There's a confirmed tornado on the ground here in northern Alabama. So an outbreak of severe weather to the south. A lot of times what that does, though, is it kind of chokes off the energy for our area, and we end up a lot safer. So flooding the main issue. Here's the flood watch for areas just off to the east of I-65, east of Metro Louisville. So watch out for some ponding of water on the roadways and some localized flooding through later on tonight. Could still be a few isolated wind gusts over around 40 miles per hour. So that wind advisory continues until 2 a.m. So as we look ahead here with Futurecast, we're going to see rain continuing through later on tonight, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but that severe weather threat almost 0% for us. And notice east of I-65, even during the overnight around 3 a.m., still looking at a chance for some downpours. The cold front's going to move through tomorrow morning. Still some spotty light rain showers in the morning time, and then turning chillier. Might be kind of a shock heading out tomorrow afternoon with 40s, maybe wind chills in the 30s as well. So our forecast here, or out the door right now, we're looking at temperatures at 60 degrees. Tomorrow morning will be the warmest part of the day, kind of an opposite day in the 50s. Once that cold front sweeps through, temperatures are going to start to drop into the afternoon. We're looking at breezy and chilly conditions for our Sunday afternoon as we fall into the 40s. We'll plan out next week and look ahead to springtime coming up.
Thank you, Ben. And now's a great time to download the free WHAS11 app. You can scan the QR code right here on your screen, and you can watch WHAS11 newscasts. And if you lose power, you can still stay in touch with us for important weather impact alerts. And new tonight, SWAT was called to the scene of a deadly shooting in the Smoketown neighborhood late this morning. According to police, officers responded to the shooting on South Preston Street just after 11 this morning. When officers arrived, they found 70-year-old Michael Evans dead from a gunshot wound. While on scene, investigators were led to a nearby home a few blocks away where police say a person of interest was inside. SWAT was able to take the person into custody just about an hour ago. LMPD said the investigation was complex due to the weather and size of the scene.
You know, some things have to be, I don't want to say rushed, but have to be accelerated a little bit. The other thing is the extent of this scene is a couple of blocks long. Okay, so managing that area becomes a challenge. Every house we go into is an unknown, and especially for our SWAT operators.
Police believe they have all parties in this incident accounted for, and that SWAT has cleared the scene and the area is open to traffic again. Well, for the first time in program history, the Louisville Cardinals are playing for a chance at an SEC title in Charlotte. The Cardinals survived 2 close games and now take on Duke, who has been the best team in the conference. But Duke will be without their star freshman and potential National Player of the Year, Cooper Flagg. Sports Director Kent Spencer joins us now from Charlotte. And Kent, this is a massive loss for Duke, but Louisville is dealing with some injuries of their own.
Alex, you're absolutely right. Louisville's Rayne Smith has missed the last 3 injuries with an ankle injury of his own. Obviously, the Cards would love to have him back tonight against the Blue Devils, but the only word out of U of L, Smith continues to be day to day. You know, I think it's important to kind of understand exactly where Louisville basketball is tonight. The Cards won just 8 games last year. They're currently sitting at 27. Like we've said all year, it is insane to think this program right now is playing for an ACC tournament championship.
You guys are playing for an ACC tournament title. How does that sound? It sounds like that's what we wanted when we first met up June 5th. We talked about it, and it's just great that now we can live it.
It means the world that we get the opportunity. It means we've been working for it, since we all got together.
For the Cards, the fairy tale season under first-year head coach Pat Kelsey has a chance to write their most significant chapter.
It's been a whirlwind of a year. It's coming up on 12 months since Josh Hurd made that call to me and offered me the job to be the head coach at the University of Louisville. And when I still say those words, I still can't believe it's real sometimes, and I get goosebumps on my arm. When we accomplish things like this and have an opportunity to play for a ACC championship tomorrow, it kind of makes you feel like you're doing your part and you're earning your keep.
You have a feeling of what you guys are in this locker room, but are you anxious to prove to the rest of the country just how good this team is?
Absolutely. I think we've proved it all season. The ACC's, it's a tough conference.
And the Cards are a 6.5-point underdog entering tonight's matchup. These are the top two seeds entering the tournament, so it's only fitting that they get to play for the big trophy. Coming up a little later in sports, I'm going to break down the matchup between Louisville and top-ranked Duke. Reporting live in Charlotte, North Carolina, Kent Spencer, WHAS 11 News.
All right, thank you, Kent. An 11th hour vote brings major changes to how the Kentucky's Medicaid program works. Republicans are pushing through an amendment to add work requirements to the program. WHAS 11's Clarice Shaley has been digging into the bill in the debate on the Senate floor last night. And Clarice, what were some of the major concerns from senators last evening?
Well, Alex, one of the most major points from Democrats is how the change is going to add unnecessary red tape to people seeking health care, noting about a third of Kentuckians are on Medicaid. There were a lot of concerns expressed over how late the amendment to the bill came in. They were talking about it around 10 last night, with a hearing just before to add those changes, which they said made it feel rushed. Senator Cassie Chambers Armstrong of Louisville said a bill like this would need time to hear how people who would be affected feel about it. Plus, the waiver requirement is another step working people will need to go through, and if they can't complete it, they might lose out on care.
We know that we're going to put restrictions in place that do not help us, but force people off, then we know it's wrong, and therefore I'd have to be a no.
But this bill ensures that those of us who the people trust to make sure that we care for the vulnerable have the appropriate knowledge to make sure that it's done in the appropriate way and not abused, but used in the way that we would hope.
Republicans argued this bill is an effort to save money, saying they spend a lot on Medicaid, and the bill would allow for the system to work more efficiently and not be taken advantage of. From conversations on the floor, a large percentage of Kentuckians use Medicaid for substance abuse disorders, and they could also be a person working and also taking care of a disabled person. Governor Beshear could veto the bill, but it could be overridden by the legislature. Live in studio, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 on your side.